Finally, India is talking about organ donation, and this time the conversation has been triggered by the kidney donation involving Lalu Prasad Yadav's daughter, Rohini Acharya. The political reactions around her decision have dominated headlines, but behind the noise, something more important has quietly come into focus. A pattern that has existed for years yet rarely receives national attention. According to the latest government data, India's transplant system shows a clear gender imbalance. In the last 5 years, women made 63.8% of all living organ donations. But when we look at who receives organs, the numbers reverse almost exactly. Only about 30% of transplants go to women. Meanwhile, nearly 70% go to men. So the picture is stark. Women are donating far more organs and men are receiving far more transplants. This is not a medical coincidence. Doctors told News 18 it reflects a social reality inside Indian families. When a transplant is needed, it is often the daughter, wife or sister who steps forward first, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes under emotional pressure, and sometimes because the assumption is simply that she should do it. But when women themselves need a transplant, many face barriers. Delayed diagnosis, lower priority within families, financial constraints and limited access to specialized care, they all play a role. The end result is visible in the data. India's organ donation system is built on women's contribution but not matched by women's access. The recent controversy has only made this imbalance clearer. Rohini Acharya herself described facing accusations including being called dirty and being questioned for her decision. Her experience is unique to her circumstances, but the gendered expectation behind it are not. This moment gives India an opportunity to ask some difficult questions. Why do women make up nearly 2/3 of all donors but receive only a third of transplants? Why are women's bodies the first to be offered but the last to be considered when the time comes for a transplant? And what needs to change in families, in hospitals and in policy to correct this imbalance? Experts say part of the answer lies in a more equitable allocation system, especially for deceased donors. Another part is independent consent checks so that no donation happens under pressure. And equally important is long-term medical follow-up for all donors, particularly women who often lack financial support for post-surgery care. But policy alone is not enough. India will have to confront the deeper social norms that teach women to give, even at a great personal cost, while teaching men to receive. The numbers are clear. The pattern is consistent. And now, thanks to this controversy, the spotlight is finally on an issue that affects thousands of families every year. If India truly wants an ethical and fair transplant system, it must ensure that those who give the most are not the ones who get the least.
Fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.